The season starts with a draw and transfer targets don't want to join us anymore. The striker shows he's well upset when he makes way for a youngster who could surprise us yet. The stadium plans face a new blow because the main contractor has gone bust, you know. The good, the bad and the ugly at Liverpool FC for the Gameweek 1 of the 2023-24 Premiership season. Welcome back one and all, and welcome to the latest episode of the LFC Files, the good, the bad and the ugly at Liverpool FC. And this of course is Gameweek 1 of a brand new, shiny, sparkling new Premiership season for 2023 and 24. Remember, if you like the content, you can follow the blog, which is on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. So let's get straight onto it with the good. So this, for me, this week is going to be the 1-1 draw away to Chelsea. Now, many may ask, why, of course, this qualifies as good? Well, frankly, at least we didn't lose. So for me, that's a good start to the season, especially away at Stamford Bridge, where you have Mauricio Pochettino, recently appointed as manager, and of course, confidence is running very, very high indeed in southwest London. So I think that was a good point for Liverpool. They took the lead through Luis Díaz, I should say, if I get my teeth in. Luis Díaz, the team looked good value for it, I have to say. As we can see from the Guardian here, new look Chelsea and Liverpool share spoils after Díaz equaliser for Blues. That's pretty much sums it up. I think both sides had goals ruled out correctly as well for offside, it has to be said. But what Rob Smith doesn't mention is that Liverpool could and should have had a penalty when the young lad, Jackson, there was a clear handball in the Chelsea area and he sort of made out as if it hit his chest, even though the replays clearly showed that there was a penalty. And I'm surprised there wasn't any VAR review of that, but it is what it is. Game finished 1-1, we move on. That brings us nicely on to the bad. And you'd have to be living under a stone not to know what that is this week, and it's going to be the loss of two major transfer targets in Moises Caicedo and of course Romeo Lavia, the latter of whom Liverpool has been courting for the last few months with numerous bids, each one being rejected, and then Chelsea came in and met Southampton's asking price. And we've got Dan Marsh here at the Mirror pointing out quite rightly that Chelsea poked fun at Liverpool after sealing £115 million transfer of Moises Caicedo. And yes, of course, I think there was an X post where he said it was always Chelsea. Naturally, many would argue that Romeo Lavia could have said it was always going to be Liverpool had they paid the price, but of course they didn't. So now he is a Chelsea player as well. So that's a double blow for the Reds. Not great transfer business, it has to be said, after getting two nice midfield players wrapped up, or transfers wrapped up early on in the season. So no, not good at all. That brings us on to the ugly, and this of course for me is Mo Salah getting upset when he got substituted against Chelsea. Well upset. He wasn't a happy bunny at all, as you can see from the Mail Online here, with the headline, Mo Salah throws a strop as he's taken off against Chelsea within 13 minutes left of the 1-1 draw. And then we've got, of course, it mentions before Roy Keane tells him to sit down and shut up as he says, as Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp plays down the incident. And of course, yes, Mo Salah wasn't very happy at being substituted, but in fairness, from what I saw of the game, I think after the first half an hour, Liverpool just sort of went downhill fast, and Chelsea really had a grip on the game. I think it's only right that Klopp makes some changes, and I was actually surprised that young Ben Doak got a run out. He seemed alright. He didn't have too long in the game to impress, but I think he's got a future with the club. And it's nice that there is a proper attacking replacement on that right hand side. So once he finds his feet in the side, who knows? Let's see. But that's, for me, that was the upside. It's nice that the youngsters are actually getting a look in the team, especially against a team like Chelsea. So yeah, I can understand Salah's frustration, but yeah, this is football. And it's a team game after all. That's pretty much it from me. Just going to have a quick look at a couple of the transfer stories. At the time, just before I recorded this, it's come to light that Liverpool have signed Wataru Endo, who is a midfielder for Bundesliga side Stuttgart. So, yeah, I mean, the guy's about 30 actually. He's a decent player, but he's not the kind of player that Liverpool have been looking for in recent seasons, i.e. this 21, 22-year-old with a lot of room to develop. There were worse players, and as we can see from the headline in the Evening Standard, the Stuttgart boss is not thrilled, and the reason why is basically because they almost got relegated last season. They just managed to stay up in the playoffs, and it was largely this gentleman's contribution that kept them in the top flight. So yes, upset I can understand he would be. And another bit of news just in is that the main contractors who are responsible for the redevelopment of the Anfield Road stand, Buckingham Group, have today issued notice that they've appointed an administrator. So basically what this means to those that aren't familiar with the process is that, to cut a long story short, they're skint. They're broke. They owe a lot of money. The administration is basically similar to the US bankruptcy protection. So essentially what it means is that someone will be appointed administrator to run the business with a view of either getting it sold or recouping the money that they are owed in order to settle the apparently numerous debts that they seem to have. So, not great news. It's not been the best of weeks for Liverpool, it has to be said. I think the small saviour of the result on the pitch is the only bright light, if you can call it that, this week. So, not great news. I've got Mr. Drone here. As you can see, he's the man on the ground. As you know, I've been following his footage of the redevelopment, and he's been speaking to some of the employees as they've been leaving the site today, because it seems a lot of them have just basically downed tools and gone. So if you have a look at Mr. Drone's YouTube site, I'll put a link in the description. You can see there's a couple of workers there standing around just before the car park and just chatting. But I've watched that video, and there were people saying, stuff like, rumour is that they've gone bankrupt, etc. And the rumour seems to be correct. So, not great news. And that pretty much wraps it up for me for this week. Again, trying to keep it short. Probably haven't been very successful, but I think it's shorter than last week's. So thanks a lot for coming along. Again, slight change this week, but you can follow the blog on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And of course, if you like the content, remember to like and subscribe and press the notification bell so you get some kind of message when there's new content available. So thanks again, everyone. Liverpool welcome Bournemouth to Anfield. Still reduced capacity, so let's see. I don't think there's going to be a repeat of the 9-0 from last season, but you never know. Stranger things have happened at sea. So until next week, guys, thanks very much for tuning in. Stay safe, look after yourselves, and until next week, this is Ben Green and the LFC File.